Dale, vamos a ver a Henry.
Vamos a ver a Henry, que es un manager de una compañía multinacional sueca que opera acá en China, básicamente en Guangzhou.
Vamos a aprender, quédate.
My name is Henry Wang. I'm the sales director for a Europe-based international company in China. As most of people in the world know, China has very fast development in the past 30 years. But in the recent 1 or 2 years, the economic development speed is slowing down a little bit, despite it's still the fastest growing economy in the world. So I would say still a lot of opportunities in China, even it is not as easy as the past 20 years.
Well, you know, Henry, we have an image in Argentina that China is a communist country, so we don't really know how it is to do business in China. So can you tell us, well, if somebody wants to set up a company, or they are free foreigners to set up a company in China? Can you explain us?
Oh yes. In fact, China is probably one of the most open economy in the world.
Is that right?
Yes, if you see the foreign direct investment flowing into China in the past 20 years, it's a huge amount of volume.
Which are the main foreign investors in China? Which countries?
If you see the famous name Volkswagen, General Motors, automotive industry, of course, is one of the biggest one. From Germany, from US, from Japan. So all these kinds of industrial companies are very active in China.
And what type of investment do they do? The foreign investments are financial investment or investment in real economy?
In the past years, most of the investment are on the real economic side, manufacturing sector.
For example, the company that you work for is a foreign company that invested in real economy, is that right?
Yes, manufacturing company, like automotive company, energy company, this kind of.
So are they producing parts here in China, and they sell these products to the world, is that right?
Yes, to China and also export, that's right.
That's good. And tell me, for you to be a Chinese working for an international foreign company, did you notice differences in the culture of between you or the local management and the European management?
Yes, you know, Chinese culture is Chinese culture, which is different from the rest of the world. Maybe the Eastern Asia culture are quite similar. They are all based from the Chinese culture.
And which are the main differences that you notice in the day-to-day work, for example?
Day-to-day work in the business world, I see the culture difference is getting smaller and smaller, in fact, because now the Chinese company are also becoming more international. While the international company are a bit localized here in China. But in terms of the culture difference, there are a lot of things. For example, and daily communication. Western people tends to be a bit more direct. Chinese people always think about the relationship first. But I see the difference is quite minor now in terms of the way of doing business.
Okay. And for this company, Was it difficult to enter into the Chinese market?
Depends on what kind of company you are. If you already have quite a big market share worldwide, then probably it's a bit easier for the company to get into China because you already have a famous brand name. But if you are smaller kind of newly created entrepreneur types of company, then you may need to use different approach because you don't have a famous name to utilize. But I think China welcome all kinds of investment in China.
Yeah. And tell me, the human resources that you find in China, do you find qualified workers to apply to the positions that you require?
Yes. I would say on both white collar office worker and also the blue collar side, China has pretty well educated people for all kinds of jobs, especially on the manufacturing sectors. On the service side, then depends on which market you are in.
And tell me about the education of the people. Are the universities public universities? Do you have private universities? Are they free of charge? Do you have a tuition? How does the education works in China?
Yes, in China, basically, most of the universities are public universities, and people need to pay the tuition fees, but not really at a very expensive level. I think it's in the affordable level, and we have a huge population entering into the university.
Okay.
And
the level of the graduated from the universities, the undergraduates and graduates from universities in China, are international level?
If we are talking about the engineering side, because it's a bit easy to compare, on the art side then it's difficult to compare. I would say yes. If you see the ranking of the university, many Chinese universities are ranked in a kind of top 100, top 200.
Oh, is that right?
So it's not really a big issue. You can always find good people in China.
That's good. So there are opportunities for white collars. For example, I graduated from a university. Do they have opportunities in companies in China? Or there are a large unemployment for this kind of people?
I think for the well-educated people, the unemployment rate is quite low. Overall, I don't have the figure, but I think it is pretty okay because every year Chinese economy has created quite a lot of new jobs.
And tell me, how does your experience in Canada help you find a good job, and how does it help you to manage everyday work here?
I think it plays a quite important role from my MBA education in Canada because that is a quite a professional training, and also with the classmates like you, we have a lot of interaction during that period. So I think I learned a lot of business fundamentals, which help me when today I need to make any business decisions. I have, I would say, a bit more solid foundations to facilitate my way of thinking. So that's important.
itgvirtual.com.ar. Capacitación de excelencia, estés donde estés.